Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on Forza Horizon 4 with a Gurkha. Yes, we are going to be turning this Gurkha into a hill climb vehicle. It was requested for by you, and therefore I am going to try my best. I'm not expecting many good things from this, I'll be honest. We've had some surprising vehicles go quite quickly up this hill climb stage, and while this will probably beat the Iron Knight, might even beat an M4, which would be quite funny, much more than that is probably not going to be happening, because there's a lot of weight. I mean, there's an awful lot of weight in this one. Now, rules for this series. Vehicles are built to the top of A-class. I don't actually know how this is going to do in terms of PI. While most vehicles will run on race tyres, if given a choice, I can't. With this, the only option we have is the off-road race tyres, which, while they are not too bad, these are essentially the equivalent of rally tyres. They're not too bad, however, it is not going to have all that much grip, although on the plus side, it does have very wide tyres. 355s are good news, well, for most vehicles going up the hill climb stage. This is still going to be too heavy, but there we go. I'm not allowed to swap the engines out of these vehicles unless they can't get to the top of A-class. Now, I don't expect, well, I say I don't expect to need to. I could swap the engines out for these as a racing 7.2 V8 if we want, however, I'm not going to, because standard engine has something quite special about it, which we will get to in a minute. Do I want... yeah, I probably want better suspension. It's still going to be a high-riding truck, but at least it'll have some sort of racing suspension. We'll take out £4,500, so we'll take out a decent-sized luxury German car in terms of weight out of the Gurkha. It's still 11,800. Still not exactly a super light, is it? And then we're going to put this turbo on it. That is massive. Yes, this this turbo adds 578 horsepower, but notice the torque figure we have got. Nearly 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. That is a lot. That is an awful lot of torque, and it's going to need it because, I mean, look at it. It weighs nearly 12,000 pounds. We do get it into A-class, which is something at least. I mean, the other engines would probably get us around about the 1,000 horsepower mark. I think the Racing V12 will do something similar to that. However, with 2,000 torque, I'd rather stick with the standard engine, I'll be honest, and the rest is going to be weight saving. There is little else that I can do with this vehicle. We will stick all of these parts in, because I can. It reckons 0 to 60 will take 4.9 seconds. Top speed 162, which would be immense if it could do it. We're not going to be getting it to be even trying to find that out. My bigger concern is the cornering. There's a lot of weight. There's a lot of weight in this to try and take around a corner. We're the bottom of A-class, basically. There's no Forza Aero parts. There's nothing like that to be working with. The Gurkha is as ready as it is going to ever be, pretty much. It's 2,000 torque, enough to get this armoured beast up the hill at any sort of speed. So, here we are on the start line with perhaps the maddest vehicle to take on our hill climb stage. I'm going to have 3 attempts to try and drive this as quickly up the mountain pass. Now, its main rival is going to be the Iron Knight. A 137.9 was the time set by the Volvo race truck. And if we can beat that, I think we'll be doing pretty well. The M4 is the second slowest car up the course, a 133.6. While it would be funny if the mighty Gurkha was able to beat the M4. Well, it's a little bit of a iffy start from the Gurkha. Yeah, it'd be funny if the Gurkha could beat the M4. I very highly doubt it. The plus point the Gurkha has, it does have better tyres than the M4. Of course, that was on its standard tyres as a top of A-class to begin with. However, I mean, it's considerably lighter than this. And the plus point for the Gurkha is it might have so much torque it pulls the mountain down, and therefore nobody wins. Although nobody loses, so, you know, that's probably the best outcome for this. It's actually, it's not the worst driving thing in the world. I didn't necessarily expect it to be. We have raced these before, in fact. Admittedly not with this much torque and so on, but, yeah, I mean, it isn't the worst thing in the world in terms of cornering. We get mediocre speed through there. That's the sort of corner that he's going to struggle on. Power out the other side is... yeah, we're a few miles an hour down, but you're not as many miles an hour down as you might expect. There will be little in the way of fear with barriers. They're not going to slow it down. It's going to crash through everything in its path. If we put a wheel on the dirt, what does it matter? It's the Gurkha. Unfortunately, however, the braking, while not too shabby, is, again, not going to be as powerful as the little lightweight sports cars. It's not going to get slowed down in a hurry. In fact, fastest cars are basically coming up to finish right about now as we head into the penultimate corner. That was the Lotus 11 up across the line as we take the penultimate turn. We did have a little iffy start, you know, we'll bear that in mind, of course. We did not get it off the line very well. This is the final turn now for the Gurkha. What is the finish time going to be? Not good. It's going to be a 1:39.5. We're not beating the M4. We're not beating the M4. The Iron Knight? Maybe. Not much more than that. So, we are on to the second attempt. Hopefully we can get the Gurkha actually moving off of the line for this one. It's kind of everything I'd sort of expected it. I had hoped perhaps big tyres and all-wheel drive might have been enough to give it, I say, half a chance. We have seen some surprising cars go well, like the Quartz Regalia that sits in second. Never likely to go quite that well. But, yeah, it's in many ways just a little bit undramatic. It's just big and heavy and a bit slow up here with, you know, the off-road race tyres, the maximum tyre widths and so on. It's just unresponsive. It's not physical pain in many ways to get around. Like it's never going to make a corner. It's just not going to make it particularly fast. We're still going to push it as much as I can get away with around here. Just about. I mean, we are able to get away with a little bit more on the dirt in places with everything on race tyres that normally runs up here. You end up on the dirt, you'll actually start losing a crap ton of time. You'll have no drive out of the corners. With this, doesn't really matter. Doesn't bother with with the dirt. It has no fear of that. However, just can't get any speed elsewhere like that. For example, we managed to avoid any real big time loss through that. It's not as quick. It's not as quick, and I don't really know what I can do in the ways of trying to make up any sort of time with this. Oh, get slowed down for this corner. It's a silly vehicle. I mean, again, to be fair to it, it's a long way off the top of A class. It only just fits in to the category for running up here. I'm a little too deep into that penultimate hairpin, which isn't ideal. That might cost it its chance. The Iron Knight on this particular run, we'll have to wait and see as we come around the final corner. What can the Gurkha do on the run to the finish line? No, not good enough. Not good enough. It's faster, not by as much as I would have liked. 1:38.9 for the Gurkha. Well, there is one more try to go a little bit faster. Well, this is the final chance for our Gurkha to go any faster. We're looking for about a second if we want to be challenging that Iron Knight. Might be able to find some time. I don't really know with this. It's going to be difficult to make up huge swathes of time because, I mean, there's just not the speed in the vehicle, really. I can't, go for the whole lay apex thing to make most of acceleration. Not really got any. Can't really go for make-up speed through the corners because I've not really got any grip through there either. So we're going to try and, just be as neat and tidy as we can. Try and get what little speed there is. I say what little speed. We've got to bear in mind, of course, what I'm asking this vehicle to do. This is a massive armoured truck essentially, and we are asking it to try and go up a very, very technical course. I mean, this course causes grief for what would normally be very, very fast A-class cars. So, we're asking a lot of the Gurkha here. I've pushed it as much as I dare through that particular corner. What can we do up over the crest here? I actually got it slowed a little bit too soon. That's all gone horribly wrong for me. We'll take out the Armco. It's got worse for the Armco barrier. That much is for sure. I was trying to get that a little bit neater through there and ended up getting a bit too early on the brakes. But, well, there we go. It happens with this sort of a vehicle. Right, 2 more corners to go. How are we doing in the Gurkha? I mean, time-wise, we're always going to be a long way down on the normal cars. My question is, and I don't know what time the Iron Knight was doing up at this point. I don't think we're really going fast enough with the Gurkha. 1 more hairpin to go, and that will be it for the big armoured vehicle. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. For the Gurkha, it can't do it. It's too heavy. It's too big, too heavy. All the power and all the torque is not enough to get that up the hill climb. It might be all-wheel drive and so on, but that is not enough to save the vehicle. In the end, a 1:39.2 on its final run is the second fastest of the runs. Yeah, it can't. It can't do what the Iron Knight can up here, and it's a long way off. It'd been fun to have had it mix it up with the M4, the Mustang, the Cobra, and so on, but it's never really likely to do that. Admittedly, as I said, we were never likely to see the Quartz Regalia up in a second place, but the Gurkha is as expected. The Gurkha is as expected. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could drive a lot worse. It could drive a lot worse indeed up that sort of a course. However, it is going to go into a last place. It is a little bit down on the Iron Knight. It can't beat. Even with the all-wheel drive traction, the Iron Knight is faster. It's just better handling going up this hill climb stage, and we are a long way off the likes of the M4, the Mustang, the Cobra, the Mini, the Vandura, the Transit, and so on. So, well, there we go. The Gurkha has run up the mountain, and it is as kind of slow and unspectacular as you might have guessed. But people wanted to see it, so so I gave it a try. That will be it for today's video. If you have requests for cars you would like to see tackle the hill climb stage, please do leave them in the comment section below. The most liked comment shall be ran next time, as long as it's a vehicle that fits within the class, vehicle I can afford and can acquire. It shall run up the hill climb stage. I was hoping to flip off the side of the mountain, couldn't do it. Shall we run up the hill climb stage next week? That, though, shall be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.